Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of the Cam Fats YouTube channel. Guys, I want to talk to you about the Mandela Effect today, and I want to talk to you about it as it relates to words and how we spell certain words. To explain this to you, to explain to you why I know for a fact that words have changed spellings. Words that used to be spelled a certain way are now spelled a different way. I'm going to prove it to you guys. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And I have to admit, some of this stuff, like, I don't remember it being spelled that way before, but I know it was for a fact. And some of this stuff, I clearly remember it being spelled that way, but I didn't until recently. And the reason is because, so what you might or might not realize is I'm a musician, and in 2010, I registered copyright on a large volume of musical work. In 2010, I registered copyright on a large volume of musical work, and when I did that, I transcribed all of my lyrics to all of my songs, and I'll show you guys in a minute. But I transcribed all the lyrics to all of my songs, and I did it in Word. So this is a 2010. I actually spell checked everything because it was going to be put into the U.S. Registry of Copyright. So I did it in Word. I typed up all the lyrics to all my songs in Word. This is 2010 when this was happening. I typed up all the lyrics to all my songs in Word, and it all got spell checked, because obviously when I typed them all up, any kind of red lines I saw, I went through there and spell checked it. And I have proof of this because at that time in 2010, when I copyrighted all that stuff, when I registered my copyright on all that stuff, I put all of my lyrics up on Bandcamp as well, and I will show that to you guys now. So let me go to screen share. This is really interesting, and I think you guys are gonna find this really weird. So first, let me just show you. Here's the U.S. Copyright Records database. Okay, so let's go here first. And the name of my old music project was called Suicide 7. Suicide 7. Okay. And as you can see, Suicide 7 Musical Works Volume 1, that's my copyright registry, right? And you can see it was in 2010. All right, that's when I registered copyright on this large volume of music. So what was the large volume of music? Okay, here's the large volume of music. If we go to suicide7.bandcamp.com, you're going to find all these records, there's a copyright on all these records. All these were collected under one volume. So let's go to the first record, though. This is called Leave. And if you'll notice, when I typed out all those lyrics and I registered that copyright, I also put my lyrics all up here on Bandcamp. You can see this was released in 1998. But if I log in, you'll see that these weren't uploaded in 1998. Obviously, they were uploaded in like 2010 or around there. But the point is, all the lyrics I put up here, okay? The same lyrics that I copyrighted, but I put them up here in 2010. I put them up here a long time ago. So let's look at some of these lyrics. Now, I know I wrote all these lyrics out in a Word document, and I spell checked everything, and then I printed it all off and put it in a binder, right? So I know in 2010 all these spellings were correct. But now when I start going through these songs, I start seeing discrepancies, right? Now, the only reason I see these discrepancies, the only reason I'm even looking at this is because I decided I wanted to distribute my music. So I signed up for I signed up with DistroKid, this music distribution company, to get more of my music distributed on like Pandora and iTunes and Spotify. I just wanted all my stuff distributed better. So I signed up with them. But when I signed up with them and I started uploading my records, I had the option to upload my lyrics. So I started doing what you guys see me doing now. I started copying my lyrics from Bandcamp, and I started noticing all these spelling errors. And I was like, what in the heck is going on here? Like when I typed these lyrics up in a Word document, I spell checked everything because I did it for the copyright registry. So it doesn't make any sense. Like this right here, this is the first song. And look at this word, scratched my face. Like to me, in my mind, I don't ever remember scratched being spelled without a T. I don't ever remember. Like to me, there's always been a T there, scratched. But like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because I know that this was spell checked in 2010. And I'm looking at it right now and I don't remember it ever being spelled like that. So that's weird. But it gets weirder because you could say, well, you know, maybe the spell check didn't pick it up because there's another word called that's spelled like that, like scratch or scratch or something, so it didn't pick it up. That's not true. There's no word scratch without a T that I am aware of. But anyways, that's just the beginning, man. That scratched, it's puzzling to me. But anyways, let's go to the second one. There's a few songs. We're going to go through the songs in this first record, and I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about because it really kind of freaks me out. Here's the second one, and no spelling errors come up. You know, you're telling me I spelled scratched wrong, but I got all these ones right. All these words are right, but I spelled scratched wrong. Like perfect grammar in here. All the commas are in the right place. Everything's in the right place. The only thing that's wrong is scratched. Although I'm looking at this right now, and this question mark, it's not underlining it, but the question mark really should be inside this quotation, but whatever. But anyways, all this stuff's right. Just that one word is wrong. Okay. Guys, if I didn't spell check it, there would be other things wrong in there. Here's the second song. Everything's right. It doesn't make sense. I spelled scratched wrong, but I got all the other grammar and everything else right. Nonsense. This stuff was spell checked and grammar checked when I wrote it in here. It doesn't make any sense. So let's go to the third song. Because you're going to start finding some really strange discrepancies, okay, in these lyrics. All right? Look at this. It's awful strange. Awful. Right? They want me to spell that without an E. But in 2010, I spelled it with an E. And that's the only thing wrong with this whole song. I spelled awful wrong. All the periods are in the right place. Everything else is right. Just that one word is wrong. See, I have a clear memory of awful being spelled with an E. I have a very clear memory of that. I never have a memory of scratch being spelled without a T. But I know I spell checked that in 2010 and it was right. And I know I spell checked this in 2010 and it was right. And I do have a memory of it being spelled with an E. But now it's saying it's wrong. But in 2010, it said it was right. So I think that's really weird. And like to me, I know that's proof. Because let me tell you something. Writing the lyrics for all of these albums was a major ordeal. It took me a few days to get it done. And I spell checked the whole damn thing. I grammar checked the whole thing. I spell checked the whole thing. And as I go through these lyrics, and as I was going through them the other day, and I'm noticing all these discrepancies. Exercising. Look, exercising. That's funny because that's spelled wrong. It should be without a C. Now it says EX without a C. But back in 2010, it was EXC. And that came out right in 2010. It spell checked that right. And that's the only word that's wrong in this whole song is exercising. And it's wrong. You know, you'd think that if I didn't spell check this in 2010, I'd have a few more spelling errors. You know, I'd have a few more spelling errors in here. I got 1 spelling error, 2 spelling errors, no spelling errors, 1 spelling error, which is 3 altogether. So out of 4 songs, I have 3 spelling errors. That doesn't make sense. If I didn't spell check it, trust me, I'd have a lot more spelling errors. Exercising used to be spelled EXC. Now it's spelled EX without the C. It's weird. It doesn't make sense, but I spell checked these songs in 2010 when I wrote them, and I printed them out, and I transcribed them over here to Bandcamp, and they were all right when I did it. They were all spelled right. Why would I have all these spelling errors in my own songs, in my own words? I wouldn't. It doesn't make sense. There's another song with no spelling errors whatsoever. Folks, there's not any spelling errors in here. It's not because I'm some kind of amazing speller. It's because I spell checked all this in 2010. Let me just some more lyrics for you. I'm curious, you know, you guys, because I'm looking through these and I'm thinking, man, what all have I forgotten? What all has changed? Because I'm telling you guys, these things have changed. Look at this. Fair's fair in the summertime. Like this right here is supposed to be 1 word. It's supposed to be 1 word, but I actually remember this being 1 word. But like in 2010, it was 2 words. Summertime. And I don't remember it being like that. And that kind of freaks me out a little bit, man. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like summertime seems wrong to me. Like it should be summertime, like 1 word. I don't know. It's weird. But in 2010, this was right, and now it's wrong. And I find that really, really disturbing, man. We'll see if I can find some more in here for you guys. Apologies. Apologies. That's how you spelled apologies in 2010. That was spell checked. Now how do you spell it? With 1 P. Apologies. Used to be 2 P's. Now it's 1 P. It's really weird to me. And I just want to reiterate, guys, look at how many spelling errors are in my songs. Not very many. Just a word here and a word there. Like, guys, there would be more spelling errors than this if I didn't spell check this in 2010. Like, if I didn't spell apologies right, I mean, there's other words in here I wouldn't have spelled right too. I promise you that. I promise you that. You know, trust me. Unfortunate, there's a prime example of a word I could have easily have misspelled. You know, I'm not some kind of amazing speller, but this was spell checked in 2010. That's how I know these were right back then. But now, certain words are wrong where they used to be right. This is one of them. Apologies. There used to be 2 P's. Now there's 1 P. And I have a clear memory of there being 2 P's in that word, you know. And I don't have a clear memory of all these guys. And that's what freaks me out, is I don't have a clear memory of all of these. Some of these are like, that looks wrong to me. But I spell checked it and it was right back then. So let's look at another album. It's really kind of freaky, man. So here's first song on this new album, this next album, and as you can see, the entire song, not a single spelling error in this whole song. Guys, I am not a great speller. Okay, I would have made a couple of spelling errors. You know, I would have made a couple, just a couple, 1 or 2. I would have had to use spell check at some point. I wouldn't have entire songs here without any spelling errors if I would not have done a spell check in 2010. This stuff was spell checked. I would have a lot more spelling errors. I promise you that. Let's do another song. Okay. It's amazing. Look, there's another song. No spelling errors. That's 2 songs now with no spelling errors. But I don't know how to spell awful. Really? It's like the stuff was spell checked. You know what I mean? And now there's certain words that are wrong. But they were right when I put them up here because they were spell checked. They were spell checked for copyright. For the copyright registry, I spell checked everything before I sent it off to register my copyright. And then I put that, I used that same document to put them up on Bandcamp. Right there, every night. Used to be 1 word. Now it's 2 words. Now it's 2 words. But when I wrote these guys, it was 1 word. And I have a memory. I have a very clear memory of every night being 1 word. But now it's 2 words. And it's coming up as wrong. It wasn't coming up as wrong in 2010. Look, guys. That's 1 spelling error out of 3 songs. 1, 2, 3 songs. 1 spelling error. Guys, I'm sorry. I would have made more spelling errors than that. That's just the way it is. You know, I'm not the best speller in the world. This stuff was spell checked. Every night used to be 1 word. I mean, the way I remember every night was it could be 2 words or 1 word, depending on how you're using it. But this is wrong. Now, it was right before. Now it's wrong. And this is kind of just blows me away, you know. There's another song with 0 spelling errors. The only reason there's 0 spelling errors in any of these songs is because I spell checked them. And some of the spelling errors that I see are so, like, I remember them so clearly being that way before. But a couple of them I don't, like scratched. I don't remember it ever being without a T. But it was in 2010, and it made sense to me in 2010, so I'm kind of like, why? What happened? So I don't know. It's a very strange thing. So I just want to go through some of these with you. I think they're interesting. There you go again, guys. Are you telling me an entire album of music, and all I made was 1 spelling error? 1 spelling error. 1 spelling error on that entire, because this is the new album right here. This is where the new one starts. Right here. This is the new album right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs, 1 spelling error. It's nonsense, you guys. It didn't freaking happen. I would have made more spelling errors, and you know, there would be more spelling errors if this was not spell checked. But I'm telling you, in 2010, all these songs were spell checked, and they were all right in 2010 when I registered the copyright on this music. And they were all right in 2010 when I uploaded them to Bandcamp. And now, here in 2018, spelling errors where there used to not be spelling errors. Let's look at another record. And I know you guys get the idea of what I'm talking about, but I want you to see some of these spelling errors, man. I want you to see with your own eyes some of these things that have changed. Because when I was uploading these lyrics to DistroKid, I was blown away by some of these spelling changes. It was bizarre to me. There's another song. No spelling errors. We're just gonna upload some of these songs, guys, and we're just gonna take a look and see what spelling errors come up. I couldn't believe it when I was seeing all these spelling errors before. I was like, really? I was like, wow, because I remember going through these lyrics with a fine-tooth comb. Look, here we are, 3 songs in to The Midnight Wasteland. Collaborating, wrong. There, wrong. Isn't that weird, guys? Here's 2 words, and like, I don't remember, I kind of remember this spelling of collaborating with an E, but now I have like a better memory of it with an O. And like, there it is, collaborating. It's like my mind's been brainwashed, or I've been trained, like the new word has trained me with red lines to know the new spelling or something. But this was the right spelling in 2010. In 2010, I spell checked all this crap. Look at all this. No spelling errors, no grammar errors. This is the only error right here, collaborating with an E instead of an O. That word has changed. This right here, T-H-E-I-R. I don't remember it being like that. I remember it being T-H-I-E-R. But why? Maybe I've been brainwashed by Word, because that's the way it was back in 2010. That was right in 2010. Now it's trying to say, well, it's, you know, I'm just spelling it wrong. This one might just be like, actually, it's funny because this is wrong, but like it's the, you need to use a conjunction in that word, there. So they're suggesting this. That's probably not like some kind of weird supernatural thing. That's just probably a legit spelling error. This one would be like this, but it doesn't matter. I think it's, see, I'm not a great speller, right? It is there. It's there. T-H-E-I-R. That's T-H-E-I-R. That's right. But this one is just, it's supposed to be a conjunction. So that's all that is. That's not nothing crazy. But that collaborating is weird. The weird thing is, here's the weird thing. In 2010, this came out okay. That's what freaks me out, you know. In 2010, this came out okay. I don't know. It's just weird to me, man. That collaborating, though, that's definitely a difference. That's definitely a difference with collaborating. I had no red lines in 2010. Here we go again. Look, unfaithful. Look, with 2 L's. Unfaithful with 2 L's right there. That was right in 2010. And now look, it's just 1 L. And like, I have a vague memory of it having 2 L's, but I'm more used to spelling it with 1 L now, guys, because in my job, I do a lot of writing. All right. I do a lot of writing. You know, I'm a digital publisher. I publish content digitally. So I do a lot of writing, and I have a more clear memory of it with 1 L now. But when I look at this, I have a vague memory of it used to be with 2 L's, and that was right before. Right? This right here, I can't explain, you know, because I'm looking at that and I know there's supposed to be an apostrophe in between E and S. She's been a little unfaithful, like a contraction. But why did that not come up on spell check in 2010? Why? Why was that okay in 2010? I don't understand that. So that's strange to me. Maybe SHES is actually a word and it registered it in the word bank. So it got confused, and here we are in 2018 and I'm using Google Docs and it's more intuitive. So it knows what I'm trying to say. I just got to check this really quick as I thought maybe it was a word, you know, shez. I don't know. It's not, you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why that one didn't come up wrong in 2010, but it didn't. But the other one is definitely different. Unfaithful, it's a different spelling, man. I'm telling you, it used to be spelled with 2 L's. I have a vague memory of it, and this has proved it. Monkey Driven Me came up as a spelling error in 2010. It's not even a word. I created that word. I just made the spell check ignore it. So that's you don't have to worry about that. That's not even a real thing. That's just the name of a song. But as we look through these lyrics, man, I hope you guys see. My hope is that you guys see words in here that you remember being spelled a little bit differently, right? I'm seeing contractions like, if it's not you, here's it's, right? And it's weird. It's like I get the contraction right here. Here's I'm. That's contracted correctly. I'll. That's contracted correctly. All the I'les, everything's done correctly grammatically except it's. It's is not done grammatically correct. It's is not done correctly correct here. I don't. It's confusing to me. I don't understand. In 2010, this was all correct, and now in 2018, it's not. So it's really weird to me. It's like, did this not used to be a contraction or something? It's like, I don't understand. You know, did I forget something? Has something changed that I don't remember? It's weird to me, you know, so I don't know. It seems like that should be a contraction to me, but I know that the spell check made it was right in 2010, you know. It's just really weird, man. Advice, right? I take my advice from a bulletin board. It's wrong, right? But at the same time, I think Word is not as intuitive as Google Docs. And I think that Word would have saw advise and they would have been like, no, that's spelled correctly. Advise. Even though I was trying to spell advice. But Google Docs is very intuitive and it can tell that I'm trying to say, and I take my advice from a bulletin board. So they're listing that as a spelling error. I think when I used Microsoft Word in 2010, it just recognized this as a spelled correctly word. So I don't think that has changed personally. Advise is a word. It's just not the word I was looking for in that situation. It's kind of scary when you think of how good Google Docs is when it comes to spelling. And you can explain some of these anomalies like that, but you can't explain all of them like that. Some of them just don't make any sense. There's a whole song with no spelling errors. I spell checked all these in 2010. That's the only way that happened. Ain't, but it ain't right. It's not right. In 2010, when I wrote this, ain't was slang. That wasn't even considered a word. Now, ain't has an apostrophe, and it is a word. Ain't has an apostrophe, and it is a word. But in 2010, that was not a word. There was a saying when I was in school, ain't a word, and I ain't gonna say it. Ain't a word, and I ain't gonna say it. That was a little saying when I was in grade school to help us remember not to use the word ain't. But now it's a word. It's an unpunctuated contraction. Unpunctuated ain't. Ain't. Unpunctuated ain't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's crazy. That wasn't a contraction in 2010. It was a slang word. And the only reason it was in the song is because that was the lyric. But it ain't right. It's not right. And why did I use the contraction it's right here? And I used it right. But not up here. It's puzzling to me. That word ain't was not a word in 2010. Ain't a word and I ain't gonna say it. But now it is a word and it's a contraction. That's different to me, man. That's different. That's changed. Guys, these song lyrics that I'm putting here for you, like I wrote all these. They all came from my mind. I mean, I'm intimately familiar with these song lyrics and I typed them all out in a Word document in 2010, and I registered copyright on all these songs. So it's strange to me, you know. This right here is just the wrong use of to. That could have came out okay in spell check in 2010, because that is an actual version of the word to, and Microsoft Word probably just saw it as correctly spelled version of to. So I'm not worried about the to, but I am worried about this likeness right here. In 2010, that's how you spell a likeness. I built it in a likeness of a clever friend of mine. But now we all know, now it's L-I-K-E. We all know that. I don't even have to look at it. I know how likeness is spelled. But why? Why did I spell it like this in 2010? I felt like this is how you spelled it in 2010. I don't even have trouble with this word likeness. But in 2010, this is how I spelled it, and Microsoft Word said it was correct in 2010. Likeness, L-I-K-N-E-S-S. That's strange, right? It's not how it's spelled. What happened? It's scary to me because I don't remember some of these spellings. I feel like my mind has been changed or conditioned in some way. I don't see any spelling errors. I can't spell likeness, but I did this whole song without any spelling errors. Doesn't make sense, guys. I spell check this stuff. It's obvious. This is the third record we've done together, and you guys are seeing some of these spelling errors that don't make sense. Overrated. I have a very clear memory of that word being spelled in that way. Right? This, we can disregard this. That's another example of a different version of to. Back in 2010, Microsoft saw TOO as being a word that was spelled correctly, even though I was probably just using the wrong version of to. So we can disregard this. But this right here, we cannot disregard. This is how it was spelled in 2010. This is how it's spelled in 2018 with 2 R's. Just 1 R in 2010. If that word was spelled wrong, Microsoft would have picked that up. Microsoft Word would have picked that up in 2010 for spell check. That's how it was spelled 8 years ago. But now it's not spelled that way anymore. It's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy. You know, I still misspell this word. To this day, I still misspell overrated because my mind still remembers it being spelled this way. And these damn computers keep on correcting me. You know? It's just crazy, you know? It's absolutely crazy. Let's move on to another record. I'm telling you guys, I hope you guys are seeing this stuff. I hope you're getting, I mean, it's eye-opening. Wait a minute. That's not the record I wanted to go to. Where did that one? In case you guys are wondering, like, if you're thinking like, wow, you wrote a lot of songs. You're right. I have wrote a lot of songs. I spent a lifetime, for a long time in my life, this was all I cared about was music. And I played a lot of music, and, you know, I feel like it almost feels like it was another lifetime, but it was something I was the most passionate about for a long time in my life, man. Anyways, so this stuff right here, completely spelled correct. No spelling errors in that song. And I think it's just kind of funny, you know, how some of these songs, like, I'll have simple spelling errors like overrated, but like, and then it'll be like 3 or 4 songs with no spelling errors. It's like, the only reason that would happen is if I spell checked everything. So that's the only reason it would happen. And that's exactly the truth. I spell checked all these songs in 2010. And now It's amazing. That's a big old song with a lot of lyrics, you know. I would have got something wrong, guys. I'm telling you. I would have misspelled a comprehend. Something in there I would have misspelled. I know myself. I'm not the best speller in the world. I would have had to have spelled a couple things wrong here and there, but nothing. Nothing wrong. 3 songs into this record and not a single spelling error. Guys, the only way that makes sense is if I spell check this record. Yeah, I have a very, very clear memory, a very, very clear memory of going through all my music, writing down all the lyrics in a Word document, spell checking the entire thing, registering copyright on all the music I had published so far. And here we go now, 4 songs into this record, and no self-righteous. Didn't spell that wrong. Didn't spell anything wrong, man. I'm not the greatest speller in the world. Some of this stuff was spelled wrong before. I spell checked it, and that's why it's all spelled right. But if I spell checked everything, then why are some of these words coming up wrong? Like awful, like overrated. I'm telling you guys, they're different now. Ain't. That was slang in 2010. I was slang in 2010, and I had to get Word to ignore it. But in 2018, that's a word. It just needs an apostrophe. That's all. It's crazy, man. That is crazy. And I know like that particular instance doesn't really tell you much of anything, but I'm just telling you, it's the truth. It's the truth. Because reviewing these song lyrics sparks tons of memories for me. Right there. You're running around in your newfound glory. That was a word, newfound. Newfound was a word, newfound glory. Now I guarantee you this is going to tell me it's 2 words. Boom, newfound, 2 words. And you see that over and over. Things that used to be 1 word now are 2 words. It's like this was 1 word in 2010. I spell checked this. This was clean in 2010. But in 2018, it's not. It's not clean. It's wrong, and it's just it's amazing, you know. There's a band. This right here, this right here was a reference to that band, Newfound Glory. I say you're running around in your newfound glory. Hope you're happy in your newfound love. It's a band. It's just interesting. And here's another thing that's interesting. You know, Google Docs doesn't register this newfound right here, your newfound love, as being wrong, but it registers this one as being wrong. Why? Why do you want this one broken in 2, but you don't want this one broken in 2? Newfound glory needs to be 2 words, but newfound love needs to be 1 word. Like this is a noun. This is an adjective. This is a noun. This is an adjective. Why would one of those need to be broken up and the other one doesn't? It doesn't make any sense. It's strange. So I don't know. But I just, you know, and I got to tell you guys, I don't have all the answers. I don't have any of the freaking answers. But I have a couple of facts. And here's fact number 1. In 2010, I meticulously wrote out all these lyrics in a Word document, and I spell checked everything because I knew that I was going to register a copyright on all these lyrics and all of my music. So I had to have it as right as I could have it. I spell checked and grammar checked all this stuff. It was exactly how I wanted it in 2010. I transcribed these lyrics onto Bandcamp, and they were exactly how I wanted them in 2010. But now there's spelling errors throughout. Simple spelling errors in some cases. In some cases, simple spelling errors. You know, which is strange to me, you know. Like, the only spelling error on this whole record so far is ain't and newfound. Like, it's like man, I'm good. I can spell a whole record correctly, every single word. That's hard to believe. I mean, it's not true. I had to spell check everything. It's just kind of strange, you know. But like, and, you know, some of you guys might look at this and be like, I don't know, whatever. But like me personally, I know these words. I'm intimately familiar with all these words because I wrote them and I spell checked them. So for me, this is like undeniable proof that something has changed. I mean, look at this, man. I'm writing all these lyrics out and nothing's spelled wrong. It's all. And here's another thing that's really weird. Like this right here, black hole. It's weird. Like I have a memory of this being one word, but I guess not. I didn't have it as one word back in 2010, and it's not one word in 2018. But for some reason, I don't know. I have a memory of it being one word. And looking at these lyrics, you guys, it sparks so many. It just like wakes me up to so many of these little words. It's kind of weird, you know. Look at that. All this record, almost no spelling errors. This whole record. The only way that could even happen is if I spell check this thing. What I should do is I should make a list of all the things that have changed on these words. But it doesn't really matter. I'm sure there's plenty of lists out there of all the spelling changes from the Mandela Effect. But I'm sorry, guys. It's just really, really weird to me. It's really strange to see all these spelling errors, you know, and 144, one of my concept record, one of the biggest records I ever did. Freaking spelling errors, man. Unbelievable. Man, when I did this record, like I was so into it. Like it was a concept album, you know, kind of like The Wall from Pink Floyd or something like that. And it was just a big project. It took me months to write these songs and to record them. And it's just interesting. Look at that. Batten's wrong now. And I bet you I know how it's wrong too. I bet you it's 2 T's now. Didn't used to be though. Yep. Oh, look, it's 2 T's and an E. But it used to be a B-A-T-O-N. B-A-T-O-N. That's how batten down the hatches used to be. But now, not anymore. Now it's different. This is very telling to me. Some of you guys are looking at these for the first time with me. I haven't looked at all these records. I decided I was going to do it with you guys. I went through the first couple the other day, and then I just said, well, look at that. Entire songs. And these are very wordy songs. These are very wordy songs, you know. I would have made a couple spelling errors in here, guys, you know. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm just being humble and honest about it. I'm not trying to be overly humble. I'm just being honest about it. I mean, I'm not the best speller in the world. I never set out to be the best speller in the world. I know that I would have made a few spelling errors in there, and especially in these big wordy songs, you know. So the fact that all these are spelling error free tells me without a shadow of a doubt that these were spell checked. I'll tell you something that's really weird. Yeah, look at these big wordy songs, man. Big wordy songs, no spelling errors. It's like it's clearly these were spell checked in 2010. So when we find words that are wrong in here, you got to ask, why did Microsoft Word not catch that in 2010? Look at that big wordy song, tons of words, tons of places I would have had a spelling error, and there was nothing, no spelling errors, which is, great, but it's kind of strange, because I just don't understand, some of the things I'm looking at, some of the things that are changing. Do you guys ever go to write things and you always spell it wrong no matter what, and you always have to do a spell check on it over and over and over? It doesn't make any sense why you that's how it's been for me, you guys, the last couple years with definitely. Every time I spell definitely, it's wrong. Like my mind has such a strong muscle memory for definitely. Like if I spell, I always spell it like that. And it's always wrong. It's always wrong. But I always spell definitely like that. And it's never right. For some reason, I can't wrap my mind around the way definitely should be spelled. But guys, I never used to have a problem with spelling definitely. But this is how it should be spelled. But I keep on wanting to spell it the other way. It's like my mind has such a muscle memory for spelling definitely this way. And you guys, I hope you understand that, I've been dealing with words for a long time. You're looking at me cut and paste all these lyrics. This is years and years of my life writing songs. I have a big familiarity with words, and I'm not always the best speller in the world, but I have a great familiarity with words. And I never had a problem spelling definitely before, but the last couple years, my mind will not wrap around the new spelling of definitely, or whatever you want to say. It should be an easy word to spell, but if I just spell it, it's always like that. Always like that. And it's always wrong. It's always wrong. And if you say, well, how do you spell it? I can't even tell you. Definitely like that? No, I can't even spell it, man. It's like that, I guess. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it doesn't look right to me. It's wrong. On a subconscious level, my mind always spells definitely like that, and that's weird. But guys, look at that, man. A whole record, the biggest record of my life, really. As far as content and what the record meant to me. One spelling error, this whole record. Some right here. And guys, this wasn't a spelling error. In the song, it was supposed to say, you'll never know which way to turn your head. You'll never know if you're alive, but for the sound of some breaked glass. I said breaked glass in the song. That's how I said it. So that's why I spelled it like this in the lyrics, and that's why it's coming up as wrong. It's gonna say broken, but I didn't say broken in the song. I said breaked. So that's why it's like that. So that's not one. So that's basically a whole album and not a single spelling error on this whole album. I mean, we got words like transgressions. We got all kinds of, fairly big words in this record. Advertisement. You telling me I can spell advertisement, but I can't spell awful? It's nonsense. So this is a whole album, not a single spelling error in 144. And I just think that's really interesting. So anyways, I'm not gonna do any more. I think I've showed you guys enough. And I don't think I got the lyrics for these ones because I did these after I registered the copyright. These 3 EPs I did after I registered the copyright. So I don't think I put the lyrics on these because when I did when I uploaded all these songs to DistroKid to be distributed to other big music places, I actually had to handwrite out all the lyrics. I had to write out all the lyrics to these ones. So I didn't have these ones for 2010. Even though I released these in 2010, you can see it was released in 2010. What you got to remember is I was working on this record when I registered the copyright for all my other music. When I registered this in 2010, I was working on this stuff. So it's neither here nor there. But what you got to understand is it's just some of this stuff is just, it's a little unexplainable, to be honest. So let me stop screen sharing. So anyways, I wanted to share that story with you guys. I feel like it's a little bit unexplainable in some situations. Some of those words are clearly changed. Overrated, awful, collaborate, stuff like that. They were spelled differently before, and now they've changed to a different spelling, and there's just no other explanation for it. I don't know why, but all I know is the truth. So anyways, I hope this video is helpful to some of you guys. I hope it, kind of wakes some people up to the changes that appear to be happening. I don't know why they're happening, but it's pretty weird. It's weird stuff. Anyways, hope you guys are doing amazing out there. I wish you the absolute best, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.